555 Jacksonville. He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Monday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us to kick off a week. It is game week. Preseason variety, but we'll take it. The Jaguars and the Steelers. Saturday night, Everbank Stadium. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. 7 o'clock kickoff. Pregame coverage begins at 4 o'clock as the Jaguars will make their preseason debut. They got 3 practices down at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. I imagine some type of walkthrough on Friday, and then the game on Saturday. Liam Cohen will meet the media tomorrow. We should have some clarity on if the starters are going to play, how much the starters are going to play, that sort of thing that we'll be able to react to on tomorrow night's edition of Hacker After Dark. The big story tonight, well, there are a few big stories. The scrimmage from last Friday, I certainly want to get to, and the depth chart that was released earlier today. Now, again, as I told Baloo, take it for what it is. It is a depth chart on the 4th day of August. We are still 34 days away from the Carolina Panthers on opening day. I believe because the preseason game is Saturday, the Jaguars had to release some sort of depth chart. I'm not reading too much into it, but it doesn't mean we won't talk about it, which we will momentarily. And for the first time in 3 years, tonight on Hacker After Dark, we will give away the first 2 spots in the Hacker Fantasy League. That's right, the HFL is back in 2025. The draft is Thursday night, August the 21st. The location is Twin Peaks at Atlantic and Kernan. 16 teams, one 16-team league. You got to be good to be in a 16-team league. If you're a fantasy football player, you know how tough 16-team leagues can be. We will give away the first 2 spots in the HFL coming up tonight. And if I were a betting man, I would say the first of those spots is going to come sooner rather than later. So be sure and be listening if you think you're the best fantasy football player that listens to 1010XL. Joshua Cephus is my Jaguar training camp one-on-one tonight. I caught up with Josh yesterday after the Sunday practice at the Miller Electric Center. Of course, the Jaguars did not have a practice today, but Joshua Cephus from yesterday, you will hear that conversation coming up in less than 15 minutes. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No, because it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
So the scrimmage from Friday, boy, I tell you one thing. You know, in the past, when we heard stadium scrimmage, mock game, yeah, you went down there and you saw a little bit of action. You went down there and you saw a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But by and large, to me in the past, they were big nothing burgers, right? They were more so for the fans to go out there and get autographs and enjoy the stadium experience prior to the preseason. I don't know how much good work got in with the stadium scrimmages here the last 3 or 4 years. Heck, the one in 2024 was on like a Saturday morning at 9 a.m., all right? So I don't know, what you really accomplish in that environment. That was not the case last Friday night. That was a scrimmage. I mean, that was tackling to the ground. That was guys getting after it. That was position, 2-minute drill, red zone. The guys were exhausted after that scrimmage on Friday. They were walking off the field with cold towels, their hands on their hips. I mean, it was a scrimmage. And I love to see it because, again, the key word the entire offseason I've used is the word different. This offseason has certainly been different. Will that mean better? Will that mean good? I don't know. We'll find out soon. But for the here and now, it's been different. And anything different here in Jacksonville than we've seen the last 15 plus years is probably a good thing. I was impressed with the stadium scrimmage. I was impressed with the plan the coaching staff had for Travis Hunter. I was impressed with the way Trevor Lawrence looked. I just thought it was a good night at the office. I was glad to see it. I was happy with the work that got in. And again, that was what you call a real scrimmage inside the stadium. In years past, I don't know if we necessarily had those. We definitely had that on Friday night. I also thought yesterday, Sunday, no pads, but I thought yesterday there was some good work being done. Travis Hunter made a couple of ridiculous catches in the back of the end zone. Jordan Lewis has had a good camp. Travis Hunter kind of had his number yesterday morning. Hunter looked sensational. Brian Thomas Jr., kind of hot and cold yesterday. BTJ's had a couple tough days at the office this training camp. Now, he responded beautifully the last time. I wonder how he'll look tomorrow coming off kind of a so-so Sunday practice. I also like the fact the Jaguars aren't resting on their laurels, right? Every day it seems like they're signing somebody, they're letting somebody go. I remember years past, the 90 guys you had on the roster at the beginning of camp were basically the 90 guys you had at the end of camp before cuts happened. There wasn't a lot of comings and goings. Well, not this year. The Jaguars are signing this veteran and that veteran. They're letting this guy go and that guy go, and good. I mean, you hate to see anybody released, but it's part of the business. If they're not cutting the mustard and you know it on August 4th, why are you going to keep them here until August 24th? Cut them now, bring in somebody else who might do a better job for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And I think the Jaguars and James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, Tony Baselli are doing that. So from that standpoint, 2 thumbs up, right on. I think the Jaguars have had a very good couple of days. Also, the depth chart released today. I thought it was interesting. Patrick McCarry or Chuma Edoga. Again, that's from the offensive line point of view. Again, Edoga's been in when McCarry has not been healthy with the back, although McCarry was dressed out there on Sunday. Travis Etienne or Tank Bigsby. That certainly does appear to be a position battle. Andrew Wingard or Antonio Johnson, with Wingard listed as one of the starting safeties, kind of caught my eye. And I agree, Yasir Abdullah has gotten a lot of work with the ones. He's listed as a starter on defense in this depth chart. Again, we'll see how all of that comes to fruition. Guest lineup tonight, like I mentioned, Joshua Cephus. Caught up with him after training camp practice yesterday. You'll hear that conversation coming up in the next segment. Also, former Florida Gator, former Jacksonville Jaguar D. Webb will stop by. We'll talk a little Billy Napier. We'll talk a little Travis Hunter. We got Justin Barney of Channel 4. We got a lot, and we are with you until 10 o'clock. Coming up next, Joshua Cephus and the first opportunity for you to get in the Hacker Fantasy League 2025 as we roll on. It's a Monday night here in Northeast Florida, and we're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Denny Thompson stars as the quarterback whisperer.
Everyone agrees that playing quarterback is the hardest thing to do in sports.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Tuned up by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through August 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Peter, hothead, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak. No.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get the best soccer talk on the First Coast on the Coaches Show, presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburg, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor discuss the beautiful game Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret: Dandy's never frozen, always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses, no dry crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little dude with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand, a quality sandwich. So do what I do and stop in at a Daly's and make yours a dandy today.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM. My Jaguar training camp conversation with wide receiver Joshua Cephus comes up in less than 5 minutes. Again, like I mentioned, for the first time in 3 years, the Hacker Fantasy League Draft returns 2025. The last one we did was in 2022. For whatever reason, just didn't work out in 23 and 24. But we're back this year. If you think you're the best fantasy football player that listens to 1010XL, your opportunity to prove it is Thursday night, August the 21st. Twin Peaks is the location. That's at the intersection of Kernan and Atlantic. Delicious food, great environment. It's going to be a wonderful time out there. We'll actually be broadcasting Hacker After Dark out there on Thursday night, August the 21st. It's 16-team league. Again, if you're a fantasy football player, you know how tough 16 teams can be. You got to know your stuff, all right? This is going to be a tough league, but that's why we're doing it. If you think you're the best, you should be able to handle a 16-team league. And so for the first time in 3 years, let's do it right now. Caller number 4 to 641-1010 will get you a spot in the Hacker Fantasy League. The one thing we do ask, not that not having 16 random people, one at each table, wouldn't be fun and exciting, but bring your buddies, bring your family, bring the kids, make it a family environment, make it a guy's night out. You're going to have an entire table to yourself, 4, 5, 6 chairs, however many you need. It's one thing we ask for the draft. We want to liven it up a little bit, so don't be a solo out there. Bring people with you. But if you want to be in the HFL, be caller number 4 right now to 641-1010, and Dylan Denmark will hook you up with one of the 16. Again, lesser teams now. We used to have 24. It's only 16. It'll be tougher to get in. One of the coveted 16 teams in the Hacker Fantasy League. By the way, we're giving one spot away now. I'm willing to bet we'll give one more spot away before the 9 o'clock hour. My Jaguar training camp one-on-one conversation was yesterday at the Miller Electric Center with a man that is once again, for the second year in a row, having a terrific camp. His name is Joshua Cephus. He is a wide receiver for your Jacksonville Jaguars. And here is that conversation on Hacker After Dark.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
All right, the Jaguars wrapping up another day of training camp out here at the Miller Electric Center. It's game week all of a sudden. We got Jaguar wide receiver Joshua Cephus with us here on 1010XL. Joshua, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Just had a good practice. The energy was there. I'm just looking forward to the game week.
I saw you getting some extra reps in after practice. A lot of wide receivers are doing that. That's part of it, right? The practice is long, but you still want to get those reps in at the end.
Yeah, for sure. It's just building more chemistry, you know. The better chemistry, the easier it is to make those plays whenever a DB's on my back and the quarterback's making a better throw.
The talk, Joshua, among the media and the fan base is that you're having a good camp. I don't know if you hear that in the city, but that's certainly the conversation. Do you feel that? Do you feel like you've had a good camp so far?
Yeah, for sure. I think I've had a good camp. And like you said, I feel the energy that's been around me as far as me having a good camp. But just like I've been telling everybody else, I had a good camp last year as well, and it didn't translate in the preseason. So my expectations have risen. The things that I've been doing are now normal, so I'm just looking to transform to the game.
Speaking of last year, 12 months removed from your rookie campaign, how is your game different from where it was this time last year?
I think I'm better with the details. Last year I was kind of walking on eggshells. I didn't know if I was going to be here or not, so it kind of made me be in my head a lot, kind of overthink things, and now I'm a lot more relaxed, and I'm just going out there to play ball. I've been doing this for 20 years now, so it's just second nature.
Obviously a very different wide receiver room than what we had a year ago. Diami, Travis, we'll talk about that wide receiver room. How different is it?
Man, it's different. You go from a couple older vets and Gabe and Christian Kirk to now you got younger vets who've been doing it and can show you just as much as they can tell you, you know. Not that C. Kirk and Gabe couldn't, but those guys are a lot more hands-on, I feel like. And then, you know, Travis being in the room, again, the greatness that he brings, the energy that he brings is all contagious, and it only makes our receiver room better. We got a lot of good guys, and we only push each other. So just like the saying, iron sharpens iron, we've been sharpening each other.
A couple of more for Jaguar wide receiver Joshua Cephus. We talk about it being game week. How excited are you to go out there and compete against somebody else? You know, you go through mini camp, OTAs, training camp. You're kind of in the dog days now. You finally get to hit somebody in another uniform on Saturday night.
Yeah. On Saturday, it's no more protected team. We going out there, balls to the wall. We playing football. You know, it's tough, gritty. It's a violent game. So that's what we want to go out there and show.
William Cohen comes in here. Casual fans, and then for that matter, guys like me in the media, will we see a difference in the offense? Will a casual fan on Sunday afternoons this year see a noticeable difference between what Doug ran last year and what Liam is running this year?
I believe we will. Just in that, I would say you can look forward to us running the ball efficiently. You can see us having explosive plays, getting the ball downfield, and everything in between. I think Liam and Grant do a great job of getting their playmakers the ball no matter who it is. Anybody in the receiver room, anybody in the running back room. And I believe that's what y'all see.
Joshua, as we begin to wrap up, sometimes Travis Hunter is in the huddle with you. Sometimes you're competing against Travis Hunter. What's that dynamic been like?
Man, it's been cool. It's been cool because, you know, like, you don't see that. It's been however many years since Deion did it, you know what I'm saying? So, man, it's very unique. It's fun. Again, the energy that he brings, is contagious on offense or defense. And then it's fun in the classroom as well, because we'll be in the classroom and we'll see him on the other side. And then if he loses, we'll talk. And if he wins, then, he'll talk. So it's an interesting dynamic. It's a fun dynamic. And it's a great thing to see.
Final question. You were here last year. The roster turnover has been unbelievable this offseason. From where the fan base was at the end of last year, obviously a disappointment for everybody, but the excitement in the city is palpable. I mean, they are pumped about this season starting. You guys get back under the lights Saturday night, and a lot of fans will be down here for the preseason opener. Kind of what's your message to Jaguar fans that are coming out Saturday night?
Man, just come out. Show support, show the love that you have for Jacksonville and the Jaguars. And we're going to go out there. We're going to play the best football that we can and give you all the show.
Joshua Cephus, best of luck Saturday. We'll be watching.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
There you go. Joshua Cephus with us here on Hacker After Dark. As always, thank you to the Jaguar PR staff for helping us out with those one-on-one conversations after every training camp practice. And he's been, I can't even really call him a surprise, because he did this last year. He was an undrafted free agent that got a spot on the roster because of the work that he put in training camp. So I thought it was interesting, though, if you listen to some of the words that he used, he talked basically about being more confident this year, because last year, if he didn't know if he was going to be around. He certainly feels like he's going to be around this year, and I agree with him. Depending on how many wide receivers, I mean, they're going to keep 5 for sure. Heck, some years they kept 7. I think the sweet spot's probably 6. If you consider Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, De'Ami Brown, Parker Washington, and Joshua Cephus, I think those 5 are almost locks at this point. The question is, who falls into that 6th spot? The thought is, well, Austin Trammell's had a good camp, or Irwin, the free agent from Cincinnati last year, Carolina, has had a good camp. And yeah, they have. My question is, can those guys play special teams? Because your 6th wide receiver has to play special teams. They're not going to make the roster if they don't play special teams. And I don't know what kind of special teams players Irwin and Trammell would be. You got a young kid in Eli Pankel who's done some nice things. I think Dorian Singer has done some nice things. I think Cam Camper has done some nice things. To me, I would say Pankel over the other 2. But again, if you're down to your 6th wide receiver, obviously there have been massive injury problems, which would be huge in and of itself. And you need that guy to be a special teams assassin. So that's why right now I'm kind of leaning a guy like Pankel, a younger guy, maybe over a Trammell or an Irwin. Could they keep 7 wide receivers and surprise us? Maybe. But then you read Dan Graziano on ESPN. Graz was in town last week. I got to meet him for the first time down at Jaguar training camp. Nice guy. Talked to him for a while, actually. Really enjoyed the conversation. One of the training camp notes he had about his time here in Jacksonville is the 4 running backs: Bigsby, Etienne, Tootin, and Allen. Graz thinks that they're going to keep 4 running backs. I do too. I think all 4 running backs make the 53. And if 4 running backs make the 53, that probably means no more than 6 wide receivers are going to make it. You're not going to keep 7 receivers and 4 running backs. That's just not realistic with a 53-man roster. I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow. I'll be down at training camp again. I'm scheduled to talk with LaQuinn Allen, the 7th-round pick that the Jaguars made, who I will tell you has had me talking, has had other members of the media talking. He's done some good things out there, but one of the things that is the most noticeable that LaQuinn Allen has done is he runs hard. Dare I say he runs a little violent. He's put his shoulder into the chest of a couple of defensive players. He has kind of caused a little bit of a ruckus with a couple of guys as well. I mean, he is a no-nonsense, wanting to earn his spot, tough dude, and I haven't had the opportunity to talk with him yet. I'm certainly looking forward to having that opportunity tomorrow, and again, we'll bring you that conversation tomorrow night here on Hacker After Dark. Now, again, if you look at the depth chart that was released today by the Jaguars, I can't stress this enough. Take it for what it is. It is a depth chart released on August 4th. It is obviously going to change. Your starting offense, Travis Hunter, Walker Little, Ezra Cleveland. Let me stop right there. I almost think that I owe an apology, and maybe a lot of us owe an apology to Ezra Cleveland. You know, wasn't it a foregone conclusion May, June, early to mid-July that Ezra Cleveland was going to lose that starting spot? Heck, I heard a lot of people talking about could they trade Ezra Cleveland and get something for him. Now, look, narratives can change all the time, but as we speak right now on August the 4th, Ezra Cleveland's been very good this camp. Ezra Cleveland is a surefire starter at left guard this camp. I think all the talk about Ezra Cleveland being sent down the road or traded or benched or what have you, somebody obviously forgot to tell Ezra Cleveland that, because he's, I think, solidified himself, at least right now, as a starter. So Travis Hunter, Walker Little, Ezra Cleveland, Robert Hainsey. It says Patrick McCarry or Chuma Edoga, and the reason for that, I think, is that McCarry has missed some time with the back. Now, he was out there on the field yesterday for the first time in a few days. I don't think he actually went through any of the team drills, but he was out there, which was nice to see. Then, of course, you got Anton Harrison, Brenton Strange. Johnny Munt is listed over Hunter Long. It says Johnny Munt or Hunter Long. I like Hunter Long. I think Long's looked pretty good in camp. Then, of course, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, or Tank Bigsby. And I love the or. All the teams are doing this now. That means, I guess, it hasn't been decided. There is still a massive position battle going on. I still think Tank Bigsby is going to get the first carry September 7th against Carolina. But again, I think that's relative because both guys, to me, are going to have a huge impact on the Jaguar offense. Then you have BTJ and De'Ami Brown. We'll go over the defense in a moment. But as far as the offense, nothing really surprises me. I would have Bigsby over Etienne. They have Etienne or Bigsby. That's the one thing I would change. I would have Hunter Long or Johnny Munt. They listed as Johnny Munt or Hunter Long as that second tight end. But those are the only, I guess, points of contention I have. And again, I did want to point out Ezra Cleveland, who I think has been one of the best offensive linemen so far in camp, has been very, very good. And notice there's not an or there. It's not Ezra Cleveland or Wyatt Milam. It's just Ezra Cleveland, which to me indicates that he clearly has won that job, at least right now. Wyatt Milam has been a National Football League player for 3 months. I think he is the future at one of those interior spots. I just don't think he's the present. I think the present is obviously Ezra Cleveland. We'll go over the defensive depth chart. There were a couple of things that stood out to me about that. Also, Justin Barney of Channel 4 talking Jaguar training camp. He comes up in about 15 minutes or so. It is a Monday evening here in Jacksonville, Florida, and we're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark till 10 o'clock right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
The 2025 NFL season is just around the corner, and we can't wait for you to be back at the bank. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are starting off the preseason going head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers Saturday, August 9th. Be at the bank as the Jags take the field for the first time this season and grab your tickets for a 7 p.m. kickoff by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you soon, Jags fans.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we know not every injury happens on Sundays. Sometimes it's flag football, weekend yard work, or just playing with your kids. That's why we built a team of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, experts in everything from knees and shoulders to spine and sports injuries. Whether you're chasing championships or chasing your dog, we've got you. Learn more at osjax.com. That's osjax.com.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread, last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Glad to be with you. Monday night, game week. The Pittsburgh Steelers roll in to Everbank Stadium, preseason opener for both teams. 7 o'clock kickoff, 4 o'clock pregame. And before you ask, I get this every year, and I love getting it every year. Absolutely love it. It means we're doing something right. The 5th quarter will debut on September 7th on the regular season opener. So no 5th quarter for the preseason games. Again, the 5th quarter this year, you'll have myself, you'll have the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy, and a reminder, the head coach, Dave Campo, who I believe is actually going to join me tomorrow night on Hacker After Dark, he's moving back to Dallas at the end of the month, wants to be closer to his kids and his grandkids, and absolutely, we love the coach, and we'll still have him on the phone periodically, if not semi-regularly during the Jaguar season. But Coach obviously won't be with us for the 5th quarter this year as he's moving back to Dallas. So we'll have the new coach in his place, which I'm very much looking forward to having. Gerald Ingram, running backs coach for over 18 seasons in the National Football League. Guy's got a couple of Super Bowl rings from his days with Tom Coughlin and the New York Football Giants. 28 years of coaching experience in college and the NFL. So myself, Leon Searcy, and Coach Gerald Ingram will have the 5th quarter for you this year, beginning September 7th, which is, of course, is the regular season opener. Denmark, you and I are going to have the Friday Night Lights postgame coming up 2 weeks from Friday. That is crazy to think about. We are, 19 days away? I guess 18 days away from the preseason, or from the first kickoff of the regular season of the Friday Night Lights postgame. High School Media Day down at the stadium last Friday. Boy, a lot of talent, man. I got to tell you, and I know you're a coach at Baldwin, so you guys play bowls this year in the district. When Bowles walked in last week and you saw a couple of Ohio State commitments, a Clemson commitment in Naheem Burrows, a Miami commitment in offensive lineman J.J. Sparks. Boy, the Bulldogs, they're loaded this year, man. There is absolutely no doubt about that.
Yeah, I remember when I coached a couple years ago. So this class of 2026, the seniors now, when they were in 8th grade, everywhere in the city, didn't matter what sport it was, like the collection of talent was insane. Top to bottom, didn't matter what sport it was. So this graduating class could probably be one of the best classes that's come out of Jackson in a long time. And it's not, you don't have the name, like Solomon, who was a kid from Range last year?
Solomon Thomas. Yeah,
he went, he was a 5-star kid. Jamie French was a 5-star kid. Naeem Burrows is that top kid this year.
He's a stud.
And he's really good. But top to bottom, you can go to almost any high school, any big high school that you know of, and they have multiple guys that are going to be playing Division I college football somewhere, like a Power 5 or a Group of 5.
Yeah, Caldwell, the defensive linebacker, edge, he can be whatever he wants for Bowles. Mike Caldwell's son, the former Jaguar defensive coordinator, he's on his way to Ohio State. Todd Fordham's got another one that's going to go play Division I college football. His third son at Bowles is also going to Ohio State. He's a tight end. I mentioned J.J. Sparks at Bowles, an offensive lineman, going to Miami. Miami's got 3 commitments, 3 big-time commitments here. Wingo, the wide receiver from St. Augustine, really good kid. Enjoyed that conversation with him I had on Friday. Brody Jennings from Mandarin, an All-American type player. And then I mentioned Sparks from Bowles. By the way, I did a ton of one-on-one interviews during High School Media Day. You can check those out on the 1010XL YouTube page. We also sent them out via Twitter this past weekend. Did a ton of interviews down there. Really enjoyed it. So, again, thank you to all involved for making the 20th edition, 20 years of that High School Media Day, a very, very good deal for everybody involved. Justin Barney was down there of Channel 4, and he will join me coming up here in less than 10 minutes to talk a little Jaguar training camp and a little bit on the high school ranks as well. Speaking of the Jaguars, we mentioned the offensive depth chart earlier on. The defensive depth chart was released as well. As it stands today, here is who the Jaguars have as the starters on defense. Devon Hamilton, Eric Armstead, Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker, Foye Oluokun, Devin Lloyd. The third linebacker is interesting. Yasir Abdullah or Dennis Gardeck. I think Dennis, they call him the Barbarian out at Arizona. I've gotten the vibe that Dennis Gardeck to the Arizona fan base is very similar to like Andrew Wingard here if Wingard would have left. Cardinal fans were not happy when Gardeck left. He was like an undrafted guy that made good out there, and they wanted the Cardinals to keep him. For whatever reason, they did not. He's coming off an ACL, although he just got cleared off the PUP list and should be doing team activities beginning tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see because he's a good pass rusher when he's healthy, to see what happens there between Gardeck and Abdullah. Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis are your listed corners with Eric Murray and Dewey Wingard. A couple of things there. Travis Hunter is listed, I guess, as a second-team defensive back. He's a starting receiver, second-team defensive back. It says Jarian Jones or Travis Hunter. Eric Murray, of course. Dewey Wingard right now listed as a starter on defense. It's Dewey Wingard or Antonio Johnson. Denmark, that surprised you at all that either Abdullah or Wingard are currently listed as starters on the defense?
Wingard, no. Abdullah, yes. That's a head scratcher for me.
Yeah, and look, Abdullah has shown signs, but they've been few and far between. But again, I mean, Ryan Nielsen and the defensive staff was so bad last year. I don't even know if you could gather any information about the defense, about guys on the defense. Obviously, Campanile and a lot of the new defensive guys on the staff this year must like what they see in Abdullah. And I'll tell you this, if this depth chart does anything, I'm going to take more of a notice to Abdullah tomorrow out there at the Miller Electric Center to see what he's doing. Also, like I said, Dennis Gardeck is off the PUP list. Can he make up some ground there? Ventrell Miller listed as the backup to Devin Lloyd. Chad Muma listed as the backup to Oluwakin. And in case you're wondering, Mason Smith is listed as the backup to Eric Armstead. Jordan Jefferson is listed as the backup to Devon Hamilton. Take it for what it is. It is a depth chart on August the 4th. Take this for what it is. The Hacker Fantasy League is back here in 2025. We already gave one spot away. That means we have 15 more spots to give away. The draft is Thursday night, August the 21st. So 2 weeks from this Thursday. Twin Peaks is the location, Atlantic and Kernan. I said we're going to give 2 spots away tonight. Well, we already gave one away. So how about we do this? Let's give that second spot away. Caller 4 right now. If you think you're the best fantasy football player that listens to 1010XL, call Dylan Denmark at 641-1010, and you will get one of the 16 coveted spots in the 2025 Hacker Fantasy League. Again, the only thing we ask is on draft night, bring the family out, bring the buddies out, have it a family night, have it a guys' night. We just don't want you sitting by yourself at a table for 4, 5, or 6 people. It's supposed to be a electric atmosphere. Not that 16 random people, one at each table, wouldn't be fun and exciting, but it would be a lot better with 60 people in the room, 4 at each spot. So caller 4 right now, 641-1010, if you want one of the spots in the brand new 16-team Hacker Fantasy League. The draft is Thursday night, August the 21st. Justin Barney, Channel 4, talking Jaguars, talking training camp, talking Steeler preseason opener, next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
It's a new season.
I like where this team's headed.
A new era.
The fan base has been great.
A new hope.
We're all here to win.
Yes! This is where the dream begins. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Saturday at 7 on 1010XL.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Every joint in the body was designed for movement. Inactivity can cause stiffness, weakness, weight gain, and decrease in overall balance. So you should strive for at least 30 minutes a day of exercises that promote flexibility like yoga, strengthening with weights, and cardiovascular fitness like walking, swimming, or biking. The more you move, the better you will feel, and your overall health will benefit. Let's get healthy, Jax. Go Jags.
He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS Sports senior NFL writer.
Well, I believe he's got everybody's attention.
He's Pete Prisco. Friday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors with great ratings and expert reviews. You know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Their professional design consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Franzi. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Where is the deepest canyon in the United States?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The deepest canyon in the United States is Hell's Canyon along the Oregon and Idaho border, about 8,000 feet deep at some point.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Steelers Saturday night. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL, the preseason opener for both clubs. Let's talk about Saturday night. Let's talk about the first 2 weeks of training camp and everything in between with my buddy Justin Barney of Channel 4. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Justin, how you doing?
Not too bad, Hack. I see you every day now, it feels like. So a little bit of a break today, only talking to you on the phone.
Yeah, it's been a busy time, no question about it. We'll be right back out there at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow morning. And let's talk about the first 2 weeks of camp. As you mentioned, you and Jamal and everybody over there at Channel 4, y'all have a great presence out there every day. Your thoughts 2 weeks into Liam Cohen's first training camp?
Yeah, I think it felt like a little bit of a different vibe out there, and been happy to see Trevor actually kind of cranking it up. He's had one uneven camp day, but I think he's played really well. I know he's worked on his footwork throughout Liam Cohen's tenure. That's been a big stress point, and he has looked good, and I think that is positive for not only his coaching staff, for this fan base too, is how well he's performed. And I think everybody just wants to almost forget about last season and how that went. And I think the first few weeks of camp have certainly helped people forget about that and turn the page.
I mean, gigantic year for Trevor, right? He turns 26 in October. It's another system that he had to learn. It's another head coach. Justin, he has not been dealt the greatest hand here, but with that contract and with the fact that he's no longer that 22-year-old kid, I mean, this is a huge year for him.
Yeah, and I think it's a make or break in the sense of what the coaching staff will end up giving him in terms of the keys to the franchise he's got now, but he's also got that massive contract, and get a laugh out of whenever I see mock trades and Jaguars cutting Trevor Lawrence, all these crazy headlines. You can't get rid of Trevor regardless, right? I mean, it just makes it's cost prohibitive to do that. And I think they want him to succeed. They need him to succeed. And I don't know necessarily if it's make or break his time in town, but I do think it's a huge season for Trevor Lawrence here. And he's got to, I think more than anything, he's just got to be consistent. We saw flashes of that over the end of 22 and the start of 23, and just have not seen that any other time in his career. So I think just if Trevor could play consistent football, that's his biggest issue, is just finding that Trevor Lawrence from about 18 games that we've seen across those 2 seasons. And he can do it. He's shown he can do it. And the big thing is, everybody and everything is set up for him to succeed. He's healthy finally, and I think this is a massive season for him.
Justin Barney of Channel 4 with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Justin, obviously the other huge story is Travis Hunter. Some days on offense, some days on defense, some days he does a little bit of both. Your thoughts on Travis Hunter 2 weeks in?
Yeah, he's looked as advertised, and I say this every time Jamal and I are talking. The only thing that worries me about Travis is kind of his stature. He's not a big, imposing guy. He played at Colorado last year, and not in the SEC. So I do worry about his stature in the NFL, holding up over 17 games if he's playing as many snaps as he wants to, or as the Jaguars are planning for him to. I just worry about him health-wise holding up. Some of the plays he's made in camp have just been unreal. At our last camp practice, we saw him against Jordan Lewis in the end zone on 2 plays, back-to-back one-on-one drills, and he absolutely torched Jordan Lewis. One for a touchdown, and one would have been a touchdown had he got his second foot down in bounds, but it just made everybody say, whoa, this guy is something else. So looking forward to seeing that. He is truly a unicorn and trying to do something that has not been done full time since the 60s. So we're truly witnessing history if Travis can make this all plan out and pay off.
You mentioned those 2 plays against Jordan Lewis. That was cool because you and I were standing right there in the end zone. Literally, those plays are happening just a few yards in front of us. And we always heard about the ball skills when the ball's in the air that Travis Hunter has. Just to see him contort his body and be able to go get that football was absolutely wild on those 2 plays.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, just the first shimmy move he makes to get by, and then how he's able to kind of contort and maneuver his body in the air is just unbelievable. The skills that he has against a veteran cornerback who's been in this league, and I think Jordan Lewis has had a phenomenal camp as well. So to see a rookie who's 8 or 9 training camp practices in his career put those moves on a veteran and draw audible gasps and awes from the crowd was pretty remarkable. We look forward to seeing him, how he does that and how he's truly used during the season. But no doubt, what we're seeing daily is really, really special and fun to be a part of.
Couple of more for Justin Barney of Channel 4. Justin, kind of an up and down training camp so far for Brian Thomas Jr. Now, the good days have been really good. He's had a couple of days where he was obviously visibly frustrated. I think another one of those days was on Sunday, as a matter of fact. What is your thought about BTJ so far?
Yeah, he's definitely run hot and cold for sure. It's not looked like the consistent Brian Thomas we saw last year, but it is training camp. I remember how he started last training camp in his rookie year, and he just almost seemed lackadaisical in a sense. He didn't seem to really crank things up until the regular season, and when he did, it was fun to watch. So I'm not necessarily worried about Brian Thomas Jr. because he didn't have the best camp last year either. But you saw what he could do in the NFL, really, with Mac Jones throwing to him the whole time, and not Trevor. I mean, he was a recipient of Mac's passes quite more than Trevor, just because Trevor's injury. So I think you give him a full camp with Trevor, and I think once those games start, we've seen BTJ turn it on. Yeah, you're right. He's not had the best camps, especially going against Tyson Campbell, and maybe Tyson Campbell is just that good.
You've been out there every day, and you can either take this in a positive direction or a negative direction, however you see fit. Biggest surprise for you, biggest thing you did not expect that you've seen over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think probably the fluctuation in the safety, all the changing and running through and trying to find the best fit, and the defensive line as well. I think Trayvon Walker has looked elite. The ability of him in the scrimmage the other night in the mock game, him getting to the quarterback, he'd have probably had 4 sacks if that was an actual game. I think he has ratcheted up his play to another level. And interesting to see all the safety kind of shifting in and out. And I don't think they've settled on the safety rotation. I think yesterday in practice, we even saw like a 3 safety look at times. So I do think, the people, myself included, who were plugging in Caleb Ransaw back there right off the bat, be disappointed. I do think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to be a starter as was projected earlier on. So I'd say the emergence of Trayvon and all the kind of the shuffling as a safety at the safety position so far in camp have been the sticking points for me.
Yeah, Ransaw's injury is unfortunate. I believe he's listed as week to week. And I'll tell you, I think Antonio Johnson and Darnell Savage have both looked pretty good. And Dewey Wingard's also done some nice things out there. So they got some decisions to make at safety. Justin, that brings us to Saturday night. Again, Justin Barney of Channel 4. That brings us to Saturday night, the preseason opener against Pittsburgh. At the time you and I are talking right now, we don't have clarity on how long the starters are going to play, if they're going to play at all. So maybe give us one young guy on offense and one young guy on defense that you know are going to play that you're excited to watch on Saturday night.
Let's see. On defense, I'm gonna say Jack Kaiser. He's a guy that I certainly could be in play for this season and beyond for the Jaguars. We're looking at a Chad Muma kind of situation. I don't know if Muma is here beyond this season. I think it's set up nicely for a Chad Muma, and even some of those guys, or Jack Kaiser, or even some of those guys like a Ventrell Miller, Yasir Abdullah, older guys in the system. I think that one of those linebacker spots is certainly open. So in terms of, I still consider Yasir a younger player because he basically redshirted his first season in the league. Yasir Abdullah, Jack Kaiser, to me, are two guys to keep an eye on, as well as Ventrell Miller. On the offensive side of the ball, I want to see Joshua Cephus, what he can kind of continue to do. We go back and forth in our 53s quite often, who's making the team, who's not. And I think Joshua Cephus has played himself into that bottom rotation, or at least the bottom part of the receiver lineup as well. So I think he's the guy I'm looking forward to watching offensively.
Yeah, I agree. I talked with Cephus yesterday after practice. We played that earlier tonight, and I'm really high on what I've seen from him. Final thought, Justin, not only is the Jaguar season firing up, I know you guys at Channel 4 had a big presence at High School Media Day last week. Certainly looking forward to that coverage this year as well. We're going to have year number 19 of the Friday Night Lights postgame, which is absolutely wild. And it appears, Bowles, Mandarin, certainly a ton of talent on both of those teams. And I know everybody's looking forward to Reigns and Miami Central to kick off the year.
Yeah, it's a good one right off the bat. Week 1 on a Saturday night, too. So that kind of gives it its own standalone, especially after Reigns played a Miami team in the final last year. So I know there's a little bit of a chomping at the bit to get back on the field against a team from Miami. Granted, this is Central and not Northwestern. But just an exciting time. We've got all the collision of everything. And college football starting up, NFL starting up, and certainly high school is what I really lean into. And just an exciting time with all the things that are going on at once. Yes, long days and long hours, but man, it's if you can't get excited about what you're seeing and what you're doing in this, it's you're in the wrong field.
Justin, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville, Channel 4, I know you and Jamal do a post-practice podcast, if you will, every day. Where can people find your coverage?
We're all over the place. Instagram seemed to be a good place to connect with a lot of viewers. We're at Sports for Jacks over there, and all of our podcasts are on all the audio platforms, Spotify, and, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your pods, and of course at newsforjacks.com. Always fun. Got a ton of content from High School Football Media Day. Anywhere you want to look, it's there, and happy to work we all do. A lot of commitment over here on our staff.
Justin Barney of Channel 4. Justin, appreciate the time. I'll see you out there tomorrow morning at the Miller Electric Center.
Take care, Hack. Thanks for having me.
1010XL is like a big family of misfits.
Look, you guys, they're just all really cool kids. And if they were mine, I would be so proud.
A lovable bunch of misfits.
And I am proud just to even know them.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
The judge swings the gavel and I pound the hammer. I'm not judging, just hammering. Hammer Time with Hayes Carlyon, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, City Rescue Mission is here to help. Learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
If you know someone with cancer and no insurance, call the U.S. Uninsured Helpline at 800-234-1317.
The Creeks Athletic Association in St. Johns County offers a variety of sports for children 5 to 18. Learn how to get your child involved at caale.org.
Builders Care is looking for volunteers, and there are so many ways you can help. Find out how at builderscare.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com. The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Frank Franzi here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville's full of memorable sports moments. Remember Tiger Woods' 60-foot putt on the iconic 17th? Gary Coate called it better than most. Better than most. Well, Coil Fencing is better than most. They're better than all. Coil has been that for nearly 100 years. So if you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today. That's at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com.
The playoff-bound Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are in full swing at the newly renovated VyStar Ballpark. Your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jackshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Halftime, Hacker After Dark, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Coming up in about 30 minutes or so, D. Webb, former Florida Gator, was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, was obviously a high school star at Ed White. He's now back in the high school ranks as a coach at NFEI, but I want to talk to D about DJ Lagway, Billy Napier. Also, as a former defensive back, want to talk to D. Webb about Travis Hunter, about what he's trying to do, not only play defensive back, but wide receiver as well. We'll also talk a little high school ball with one of the best high school players to ever come out of Northeast Florida, D. Webb. That conversation comes up in about 30 minutes or so. Also, Andrew Spivey, GatorCountry.com, joins me in less than 15 minutes as Florida is basically a week into camp. And Denmark, I guess the big story there is DJ Lagway. Now, there was no walking boot, right? There was a lot of talk about a walking boot, but we didn't see any of that on Saturday when the media was out there and video was taken. Lagway was out throwing the ball. I don't know how many team drills he did. I saw a lot of individual throwing. I do wonder, though, again, you know, depending on who you talk to, what you read, what you see, people you hear from, if there is still a level of concern about that calf. Keep in mind, Florida's schedule does not exactly open rough. They play Long Island I think Denmark, you could play quarterback, and they could probably beat Long Island.
Nah, that wouldn't be good.
And then they play USF in week 2, and with all due respect to our USF alumni, Florida should have a relatively, not an easy, but a relatively easy time of that if Florida is as good as we all think they are. And then they dive headfirst into the deep water with back-to-back road games, LSU and Miami. So, Dylan, I think it's going to be really interesting to see Lagway, particularly the first 2 games. I think we're going to get a really good gauge on how healthy he is or how healthy the Florida staff thinks he is by his availability or mobility against both Long Island and USF.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be more about his mobility, I think. I mean, one thing that college football lacks so much is, I mean, we're not going to know anything about Lagway and his mobility until the season starts about a month from now. And then the same thing with Florida State. It's like they're not allowing any media access to their practices, so we don't know anything about Florida State and anything what they do until week 1 starts. I mean, you look at high school, you have all kinds of access. With the NFL, you're at training camp all the time. You can talk to coaches, you can talk to players. College football, it's like, these coaches are like communists, and they don't want anybody around their programs at all, which hurts the sport. Because, we would like to, get information and see, videos. And I know we saw a couple of videos over the weekend from Lagway and them throwing a couple balls, but it wasn't, full 11 on 11. It was just, a couple of individual drills, Patton goes, throwing the ball to Eugene Wilson or Dallas Wilson or whoever. So, yeah, I mean, that's just how college football is going to be until they somehow make it a priority to where media can go to practice and cover it like they do in the NFL.
Yeah, quickly, I'm happy you brought that up because that was a big topic of conversation. The college ranks and Florida State, a lot of them are very much limiting media access. We talked about that in the Jaguar media room last week. And the one thing that I've always said this, I love what I do. I'm very fortunate to do what I do. I've been doing it almost 23 years later this month. I've been doing sports radio well over half my life. I mean, I literally met my wife and have a son because of sports radio. All right. You talking about engrossing somebody's life. Well, that's what sports radio has done for me. But like when I go to Jaguar camp, I'm not out there for my health, right? I'm not out there as a hobby. I mean, I'm not taking videos and tweeting things and texting things and doing these one-on-one interviews just solely because I want to talk to these guys. I'm doing it for the fans because the fans can't be out there. After tomorrow, it's off limits to fans. I believe tomorrow's the last open practice to fans, and even at that, it's only 2,500. And for the colleges, particularly Florida State, because they have basically shut down access, Florida has limited access very much to the media. For them not to allow media in is nonsense. I mean, what do they think they're going to protect? Did Florida State go 2-10 last year and embarrass themselves in front of the entire country because the media was allowed to watch their fall camp? No, they went 2-10 last year because the team underachieved massively, did a terrible job in the portal, and weren't coached very well. That's why they went 2-10, not because the media might have been tweeting this or tweeting that during fall camp. We are a caveat to the fan base. The fan base who in college ranks pays your salary, right? The fan base who determine your job security and your job status for the most part. The fan base who spends hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every weekend to take the family to your stadium to watch your games or travel on the road to support you at an away venue. And when you don't allow the media in for video, to talk to you, to report what's going on, you're not just limiting the media's access. You are then in turn limiting the fans' access to get to know what's going on with the program that they have lived and loved and supported year after year after year. And that's bunk. And college coaches everywhere need to get over themselves, because when you start limiting fans' access, which is what you do when you limit the media, you might not find the result as fulfilling as you envision. If we can go to every practice of a Jaguar training camp, there is no reason on planet Earth that Florida State should not allow access to their fall camp, or Florida shouldn't for every practice. Give me a break. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's the way the world works, at least right now, and we'll see if anything does change. Andrew Spivey, GatorCountry.com. He is one of our main guys over in Gainesville. Let's talk Florida fall camp. Let's talk the health of DJ Lagway and more. Andrew Spivey of Gator Country next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
He's not a senior citizen. He's Jacksonville's senior writer, John Osher. And knows your favorite football team. Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Barry at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Barry on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey there. You hear that? Right? You don't. That's what it's like to order food for your workplace with EasyCater. No hold music while you wait to place your order. No tapping as you type in special dietary instructions or long, complicated searches for options in your budget. No crinkling of paper receipts. Just...
Dang, these are some tasty sandwiches.
EasyCater, the better way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Joe C. for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. And if your dream is to create that space where you're living large in your backyard, then you need to get with the good people at CSS. They put a gas log in our fireplace, an awesome fire pit out back where the kids can toast s'mores and we can just hang out and watch the game. It's all part of your outdoor living experience with CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
60 days from now, you'll be one of these 2 guys. The first guy, sluggish, foggy, and feeling like he just can't keep up like he used to. The second guy, driven, strong, and confident. Why? MailXcel's breakthrough microdosing protocol, a daily low-dose testosterone. You don't have to be the first guy anymore. Be the second guy. Take the same steps he took. Try MailXcel.com. 100,000 men chose wisely. Your move.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Florida Gators play a football game at the end of this month. They've been in camp now for about a week. DJ Lagway, I guess, has been the big topic, although all appears to be okay again with Lagway. Let's talk about all of it with one of our main guys over there in Gainesville. That's my buddy Andrew Spivey, GatorCountry.com. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Andrew, how we doing?
Doing good, Ryan. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Andrew, we always appreciate it, man. So DJ Lagway, the big story at the beginning of camp last week was, I guess, the walking boot, but now all of a sudden, about a week later, all appears to be right with the world again as Lagway's out there throwing and as if nothing ever happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest, Ryan. I'm still not in the belief that everything is good. From different things I've been told is, they're protecting him. They're definitely making sure that, he doesn't re-injure this. He didn't do any 11 on 11 stuff. He only really did the individual throwing and stuff on Saturday. And Saturday was the first time he threw. I know there was reports out there that he had threw before then. Saturday was the first time he threw. And yeah, he had a compression sleeve, no walking boot. But if you watch some of the videos that were out there that, of him warming up and throwing, you could definitely tell he's favoring that leg. He's not driving through that leg. He's throwing everything off his back foot and being basically all arms when he's throwing the ball. So, there's definitely concern. Talking to some sources inside the building and stuff, they're concerned. They're really concerned about the leg and getting him healthy. There's even some talk that, he may be limited in the first game of the year just so that he's ready to go. And the word and the phrase that I keep getting told about DJ is they're trying to protect him from himself. They're trying to protect him and make sure that they have him ready to go for the stretch of the season, because watching practice, anything after DJ is bad. This is a football team without DJ that would be lucky to win 3 football games.
Andrew, whether it's fair or not, man, you go back to the hamstring last year, the shoulder during the spring. There was a report of maybe a sports hernia or abdomen situation, and now we have the calf as well. I mean, are we dangerously close to the point of calling DJ Lagway injury prone?
I mean, you almost have to a little bit. And, a guy with his, size and athleticism and stuff like that, it's something you definitely worry about. He's put on some muscle and weight. He's, about 240, 245 now, depending on the day of the week there and all of that. So you definitely have to start being concerned about that. And, I think that's why Florida's trying to protect him as much as they can, because they know that he's a guy that when he's out there, he's 150%. He's going to give you his all. And that's led to injuries. I mean, you go back to the Georgia game with the hamstring and stuff. That stuff led to injuries. And, the shoulder thing, that's going to be something he's going to probably battle for the rest of his career. Florida cannot afford to not have DJ there. But the concern of him being injury prone is something that everybody's worried about.
Andrew Spivey, GatorCountry.com, with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Obviously, Andrew, DJ Lagway, the big story. Again, they've only been in camp for a little less than a week, so, we can't jump to too many conclusions. But it appears the spring game might not have been a fluke. I mean, Dallas Wilson, you're already seeing highlights of him in camp after what he did in the orange and blue game. I mean, how excited are people over there in Gainesville about this true freshman?
Yeah, I mean, Dallas is a guy that, I had a couple of people tell me they're like, it would not surprise them at all if he was not the best freshman in the country this year, on the field. And, that's big. I mean, that's something that, that says a lot. And the ability he has of just making all the plays, not only is he super fast and athletic, but he's, a physical receiver, a big receiver that can go up and get the ball. And, he just finds his way open, and he shows that ability to be an all around really, really good receiver that can line up all over the field. You can line him up in the slot. You can line him up outside. You can line him up wherever however you want. His game is going to show this year, and it's going to be a big year for him, especially if DJ's able to, be healthy. And it would not surprise me at all if Dallas Wilson was not, the number one receiver on this team very, very shortly after the season starts. I mean, Sturdivant's going to be the guy probably early on. Trey Wilson's going to get some run at that as well. But it would not shock me at all if Dallas Wilson wasn't there. And another guy is VB3, Vernell Brown. He's a guy that, is getting overlooked by Dallas because of Dallas. But Vernell Brown had a great first few days of practice as well.
Couple of more for Andrew Spivey of GatorCountry.com. Andrew, final thought on the offense, man. I know Trayon Webb has been limited. I think day-to-day was the verbiage there, but obviously Jaden Ball, Jackson, the running game appears to have a lot of depth there. People are really excited about Ball. And that offensive line, maybe one of the best in the Southeastern Conference. How excited are people in Gainesville about what the running game might have this year?
Yeah, I mean, really excited. And the guy that I think that we're going to learn about, or the fans are going to learn about, in maybe not in big loads, but definitely at times. And that's the freshman and Byron Louise, a guy that, Florida picked up late, flipped him from Florida State, a guy that he's phenomenal. I mean, that is a really, really good athlete. I mean, this running back room is stacked. I mean, KD Daniels is a guy that, has had a good first few days of practice as well. It is a running back group that is really loaded. But, Jaden Ball, Jakeem Jackson, those two guys right there are going to be a 1-2 punch that's going to be really, really good. And like you said, the offensive line is really good as well. I mean, you're returning 4 out of the 5 guys there. You feel very, very good about the running game there. And, if DJ's healthy and able to run as well, you feel like this offense has a chance to be really, really good. The problem is got to have DJ healthy. Harrison Bailey, Aiden Werner, those two guys, that they're not cut out to be SEC quarterbacks.
No, that's true. And look, we saw Aiden Warner last year. Harrison Bailey might be serviceable in an absolute pinch, but if you go too long with that, we know what's going to ultimately happen. The season's going to rely on DJ Lagway's health. I completely agree with you. Andrew, in the time we have left defensively, man, I mean, look, we've talked so much about Tyreek Sapp and Caleb Banks this offseason. When you start digging a little deeper, George Gums is back, the flag planter from Doak Campbell Stadium last year. Obviously, people are excited about that. And then L.J. McCray, a 5-star coming into his sophomore year. I would have to think people are excited what might happen with McCray this year.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a guy that has put on some weight and, has big things coming about him as well. Like you said, Gums is a guy that is there. I'll tell you another guy who's sticking out on that defensive line is Jaden Woods. I don't know how Jaden Woods isn't playing a lot of snaps this year. He's a guy that is just a freak off the line. A late flip Florida got in this last recruiting cycle. Jaden Woods has a chance to be a star, a really, really good player. I don't know how Florida keeps him off the field. Tyreek Sapp's going to play a lot. You like Sapp and what he's been able to do, but Woods is a guy that I think is going to have a really, really big year. Him and L.J. McCray both. The guy, though, that, in my opinion, has taken over the leadership of this defense and is going to be a star that, and we already knew it in Gainesville, but the country's about to know who Miles Graham is. Miles Graham is a phenomenal football player on and off the field. The leadership skills he has is really good. He controls that defense, but the plays he makes, he can make every play for a linebacker, and it's great to see because, I don't know that we've seen a linebacker that's just been a true linebacker that's a leader since Brandon Spikes, but Miles Graham is that guy.
Andrew, we got 60 seconds in the secondary. I hear a lot about Kermani McClain. Look, they got to replace Jason Marshall, obviously. Dijon Johnson, I guess, had his off-the-field issues resolved and is good to go there. I think the charges were dropped, if memory serves. So where are we in the secondary as we're a week into camp?
Yeah, charges were dropped for Dijon. Didn't practice on Saturday. They held him out. But McClain and Moore are your two guys that are starting there, and they had really good days so far. And, Kamarni McClain's looking like the 5-star that he was out of high school. Looks like he's put the past in the past. And we say this every year. Devin Moore stays healthy. Devin Moore's one of the best corners in the SEC, but Devin Moore is injury prone. Every year it's something that gets him, and typically it's multiple games or a season. But if Devin Moore can stay healthy, you feel very good about this secondary in general, and defense in general. The defense has been really good, and maybe that's because Ron Roberts is in his second year, but overall, the defenses look really good, and McClain and Moore had good days, and again, they're going up against some pretty good receivers in Dallas Wilson, Sturdivant, and those guys, but really excited to see what McClain can put on, and excited to see if Moore can stay healthy for a full season.
Andrew, tell the Gator fans over here in Jacksonville, man, GatorCountry.com, and the coverage you guys will have as camp continues.
Yeah, plenty of coverage from practice, different media opportunities with interviews and such from coaches. Napier will talk on Monday evening as well, have some recruiting stuff as well, and continue to preview the season as we're fast approaching, Ryan. Before long, we'll be having a game in the swamp, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The end of this month, the Gators return to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Andrew Spivey, GatorCountry.com. Andrew, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. We'll talk again soon, pal.
Absolutely, Ryan. Take care, buddy.
There you go, Andrew Spivey, GatorCountry.com, with us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in Jacksonville, Florida, a week into camp. We'll make the rounds, kind of the college football rounds, over the next week or two. In fact, we'll go to Tallahassee tomorrow night, check in on Florida State, as most teams are about a week in to camp. I mean, Denmark, when you think about the four teams that we talk about the most, obviously Florida, Florida State, Miami, and Georgia, different levels of expectation. I think Georgia, for sure, possibly Miami, have national championship aspirations. Miami, based on the schedule, because no offense to the ACC, but it's just not very daunting. And if Miami were to somehow get past Notre Dame and Florida, or even split those, there's not a lot in their path, at least until the ACC championship game. I think Florida, your expectation is probably to be better than last year, 8 or maybe 9 wins. And who knows, 9-3, you might be talking about a potential wild card, if you will, to the college football playoff. And then Florida State, look, I'll be honest, I think your expectation is to have a winning record. You were 2-10 last year. I got Seminole buddies telling me they're going 10-2. You're out of your mind if you think you're going 10-2. I think realistically, Denmark, if I'm a Florida State fan, 7-5 is a lofty goal to shoot for going into the year?
Yeah, 7-5, you take it and run with it. Miami's such a wild card, too, because they lost a lot of guys on that offense a year ago, and the defense wasn't that good. Miami would probably finish second in the conference, and then Florida 9-3, you take and run with, and then Georgia, it's Georgia. You're 10-2, you're hoping you're playing for an SEC title with, a Texas or an LSU. One of those teams, because that's just where they expect to be every year.
Georgia's schedule's hard. Now, they get a lot of their tough games at home, but they have Alabama, they have Texas, they have Ole Miss, they have Tennessee, they have Florida. They got an improved Georgia Tech football team. I mean, I'll be honest, I've been critical of the Dogs' SEC schedule at times because I think it's been a little easier than Florida's. Maybe not this year. Both Florida and Georgia have just bears for schedules. And Georgia, you'll find out pretty quick. In the month of September, they play Tennessee and Alabama. So you're going to know where the Dogs stand pretty quick here in 2025. More in the world of college football. In fact, former Florida Gator and Jacksonville Jaguar defensive back D. Webb joins us in less than 15 minutes. Coming up next, back into the Jaguars. They're back on the practice field tomorrow. They play a preseason game Saturday night. We'll talk a little Jaguar football next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
Rico Lou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental, with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
From humble origins on Beach Boulevard to the grandeur of the old homestead, Takaloo has bucked the odds, selling cheap tacos and even cheaper beers since 2008. I'll be the first to lament that nothing is cheap anymore, but much has not changed in 17 years. Bangin' Shrimp still rocks, margaritas flow day and night, and we love to see old friends and make new friends every day. You can still spin the wheel or sit outside on the patio in the sun with friends and family. It's been a ton of fun, and we have you, Jacksonville, to thank for 17 years. Takaloo in Jacksonville Beach.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Hal Sutton when he famously said, "Be the right club today"? Well, that's what Coil Fencing delivers. The right fence today. And they've been delivering the right fencing for both commercial and residential properties for nearly 100 years. If you're in the market for a new fence, call Coil & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Former Florida Gator, former Jacksonville Jaguar, former Ed White Commander, D. Webb, joins me in less than 10 minutes. Preseason game number 1, Saturday night, Everbank Stadium. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. The Pittsburgh Steelers roll in. We'll go to Pittsburgh a couple of times this week, kind of get a feel for how the Steelers are approaching this game. Obviously, don't expect to see Aaron Rodgers or Jalen Ramsey or DK Metcalf or any of those guys. I think we're going to see a lot of Mason Rudolph. But I'll tell you what's cool, Denmark, and I didn't realize this till I started looking at the Steeler roster. We're going to see a couple of national championship Ohio State Buckeyes, right? Will Howard, the guy who was the starting quarterback for the team that won the title last year. We'll probably see him a lot in his NFL debut. Also, Jack Sawyer, and I loved everything about Jack Sawyer. The linebacker at Ohio State, he's the guy that wanted to fight the entire Michigan team when they planted the flag there at Ohio Stadium. Sawyer also with the amazing interception return for touchdown in the national championship game. Apparently, he has been looking very, very good at Steeler camp. He is one of the guys they're very excited about seeing on Friday night. So we'll get to see a former Ohio State defensive star and Will Howard, the guy that was the quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes last year. As far as the Jaguars go, look, we'll get more clarity on this tomorrow when we talk to Liam Cohen. I don't know what I would do with Trevor Lawrence on Saturday because part of me thinks, well, look, your main three weapons a wide receiver are Brian Thomas Jr., De'Ami Brown, and obviously Travis Hunter. And Trevor Lawrence combined with those three guys has played a career 8 football games, and they're all with BTJ. He's never played a competitive game with De'Ami Brown. He's never played a competitive game with Travis Hunter. So part of me wants to throw the starters out there for a little bit. Plus, you're learning a new offense. Got to work in some offensive linemen. Got to see what combinations work. So I do want to see it. But in saying that, Denmark, I'd be lying if I didn't have some trepidation about throwing your starters out there on August the 9th in preseason game number 1. I mean, where are you at with the starters, particularly Trevor and the guys come Saturday?
If they don't play Saturday, I wouldn't care. I would play them at max 2 series, and that would be it. They're going to get a lot of work in the scrimmage they're going to have with the Dolphins. What do they call it?
The joint practice.
The joint practice. Thank you. I don't know why every time that word comes up, it escapes my mind.
I think you probably will play them against New Orleans in week 2 a little bit.
But the joint practice is where you're going to get your main work,
right?
Because that's more of a controlled environment, and you can get a lot of work done there. And the last preseason game, you usually don't see any starters playing at all.
Oh, you won't see any starters because the joint practice is with Miami, and that's the final preseason game 2 days later.
Yeah,
so the starters won't play at all against the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I want to see for this weekend is if Travis Hunter plays, how many snaps does he play? And, can the offense move the ball, a little bit?
And look, you're going to have a bunch of Steeler reserves out there. I would be surprised if Pittsburgh plays any starter. They're not going to play T.J. Watt. They're not going to play Cam Hayward. They're not going to play Ramsey, Metcalf, obviously Aaron Rodgers. You're going to have a lot of young Pittsburgh Steelers fighting for jobs, which, again, if the Jaguars starters do play, which I don't expect all of them to, but if they do, they should be able to dominate because they're going to be playing Steelers second and third team guys. But it'll be interesting talking to Liam Cohen tomorrow to see. And I imagine he's going to make the announcement tomorrow on his plan for Saturday to kind of see how they handle Trevor, the starters, Travis Hunter, obviously, and all points in between. A guy that knows all about preseason NFL football, a guy that was a great player in college, was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and was a star at the high school game at Ed White High School back in the day here in Jacksonville, is D. Webb. I want to talk to D about a lot of things. I want to talk to him about Billy Napier. I want to talk to him about DJ Lagway. I want to talk about Travis Hunter. I want to talk a little high school football as well. We'll touch it all with former Gator and former Jacksonville Jaguar defensive back D. Webb. He joins me next on a Monday night here in Northeast Florida with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you till 10 o'clock right here on Hacker After Dark.
Let's get the work done.
Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet, quick feet, quick feet.
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Let's go, here we go, let's go, it's live now, let's go.
A new era of women's professional soccer has arrived. The Gainbridge Super League, redefining the game for the next generation. Sporting Jacks, the first ever pro women's team on the First Coast. Be there for history. Secure your tickets now at sportingjacks.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 4th, 1984, Carl Lewis wins his first Olympic gold medal in the 100-meter dash.
Your doctor says your testosterone is normal. Normal for who? Beta males? That's where those lab ranges come from. Male Excel uses optimal levels, where you were at 25, not where outdated mainstream medicine thinks you should be. Our protocol is different. Daily dosing, multiple hormones, personalized to your body, not some insurance company's spreadsheet. This is precision medicine, not sick care. Try mailexcel.com, free test. Stop being normal. Start being optimal.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Steelers preseason opener for both teams comes up Saturday night. Of course, you'll hear that game right here on 1010XL as the NFL preseason gets underway. College football camps going on all over the country. The Florida Gators play their first game at the end of this month, and high school football right around the corner as well as the preseason kickoff jamborees take place a week from this Friday. We got a lot to get into with that. Let's talk about all of it with a guy that's lived all of it locally here in high school at the University of Florida and as a draft pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is former defensive back D. Webb, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. D, how you doing?
I'm fine. How about yourself?
Hey, D, we're good, man. Thank you for the time. Let's begin with your alma mater. We got a lot to hit with you. Year number 4 for Billy Napier. Obviously, a lot of excitement about the team. DJ Lagway as well. As a former alum of Florida, what's your thought on the Gators coming into 2025?
First and foremost, I'd like to thank all the boosters that's giving him his time. To dare the doggone coaches, his recruits that he done brought in himself. I think with that alone, as we can see, the kids that he's brought in from last year want to play for him. And I think that's the big part of college football, having the right coach, the right guy for the kids that's going to motivate the kids to actually want to run through a brick wall. So I think we got that situated last year, going in the right direction. I think this year's the year for him to blossom and be able to make it to that SEC championship, go and try to make this thing to this playoff.
D, it's interesting, and you're not the only former Gator that I've talked to. Almost all the alumni are really high on Billy Napier, maybe higher than some of the fan base. Why do you think that is?
Just the type of guy he is, a work hard guy about his business, and he's a man of his word. So just me being around through the last couple of years, especially with helping with bringing my cousin Trayon in, I don't think he's done nothing he said he wouldn't do. So with that being said, you always want to coach or look at somebody every day that give you the same person every day. And I think that's what Billy Napier, he give you the same person every day. And I think that what made Urban Meyer great, even though a lot of us didn't like the transition from where we was coming from Zook to Meyer, but Meyer was Meyer. Meyer was the same person every day. He didn't change. He didn't fold. He preached the same thing. He walked what he preached. And that's what you need as on a collegiate level. You need somebody that's in front of these young men preaching the same thing over and over and over and over and not changing.
Former Florida Gator defensive back D. Webb with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. D, obviously a lot of Billy Napier's future in this Florida season is going to depend on DJ Lagway, not only his performance, but his health. What is your thought on Lagway coming into the year?
I think DJ, he's in a perfect situation. As we all know, Billy Napier is run the ball, play good defense. So I think with the type of quarterback we have, he can make all the throws. And I think with the four-headed monster backfield that we're going to have over the next 2-3 years, that's going to take a lot of doggone weight off DJ Ladway. So all I say is just manage the ball, control the ball, play great defense. And I think we set ourselves up with a great backfield, and now we're building a great foundation on defense to help Ladway out, not have to do everything on his own. So to say.
One of the big things, D, about Florida, and I thought this right when it happened at the beginning of the offseason, they got 4 guys that could be in the NFL right now that all came back. 2 on the offensive line, 2 on the defensive line. When you talk about Tyreek Sapp, Caleb Banks, Austin Barber, and Jake Slaughter, I mean, the SEC is about the lines of scrimmage. You got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to stop the run. And probably for the first time in Napier's tenure, they got pretty good lines of scrimmage down there in Gainesville coming into the season.
Right. And like you say, that's where the game and won and in the trenches. And like you say, we have 4 kids could have went out and doggone started their professional career. But like I told you from the get-go, when you have a man like Napier that could reach the kids, talk to the kids, preach the same thing, and the kids see the same thing no matter win, lose, or draw, you get those type of kids that got a chance to go to the next level and say, hey, man, I'm going to stick around to see this thing prosper. And I want to see Coach Napier prosper as being the head coach for the Florida Gators. So with that being said, I think we got a great foundation in the trenches right now to build on, which we've been playing over the last 3 years since my Napier been there. We've been trying to go in the portal, get people to make it work. But now we got a foundation, somebody that's been there, kids that been there, played in the SEC, played in the system, know what it is to be able to compete with the Georgias, the LSUs, and things of that nature. So that's a big, big step moving forward with having those type of kids that could be playing in the NFL, getting ready for a preseason game this week.
D. Webb was a terrific defensive back at the University of Florida. As a result of that, he was drafted here by the Jacksonville Jaguars. D, I got to ask you about Travis Hunter, man. I mean, a defensive back, wide receiver. He's planning on doing both, and who's to say that he can? He did it at Colorado, about 115 snaps a game on average. You know what it's like to play at the highest level. You know what it's like to play DB in the NFL. What is your thought about what Travis Hunter is trying to do?
I don't think he's trying. He's definitely doing it. You feel me? And he's had the skill set to do it. It's all about load management. With a kid like that, you got to load management him. And he's probably not going to play too many snaps on special teams, being that he's a number 1 receiver on offense and possibly could be a number 1 cornerback on defense. So it's all about load management, because at the end of the day, a DB and a receiver still go play those snaps if it's just you playing receiver, and special teams you playing DB and special teams. So I think it's more of a load management thing, but he definitely has the skill set to play both sides of the ball and give great minutes on both sides of the ball to help the Jacksonville Jaguars win some ball games this year.
D, you were a terrific athlete. You had teammates at Florida that were terrific athletes. You played against terrific athletes. Why do you think no one's really tried this? I mean, obviously the Deons of the world and guys of that sort did it, but you're talking, 30, 35 years ago. Why do you think no one's attempted what Travis Hunter is going to do?
I don't think nobody really attempt what he's trying to do or what he's doing right now, because no coach really pushed nobody, or no coach really had an open mind to think somebody could be able to do it. This also the Deion to really believed in this kid, told this kid what he could do, and that kid believed in what Deion said. He not letting nobody away from that. So I don't think he's the first kid that can ever do it. It's just about the message and the person that's pushing him, so to say. Versus Deion, he didn't have nobody to push him, to tell him, hey, you can play both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and not come off the field. I don't think the athletes of the world had those type of guys pushing them to be that superior athlete, so to say.
Final moments with D. Webb. D, final Jaguar question, then I want to tell people what you're up to these days over there at NFEI. You look at that secondary room outside of Travis Hunter. Looks like a lot of talent, man. Tyson Campbell's had a great camp. Jarian Jones, Jordan Lewis. How do you feel about the DBs here in Jacksonville?
Like I said, the talent level isn't what set us apart here in Jacksonville, I don't think. It's just about learning how to win, how to adapt that winning atmosphere. The talent level, you in the NFL, so you have to have some type of talent. It's all about the attitude to want to and learning how to win and be a competitor. I think that's the biggest thing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, knowing how to win, how to compete every play, how to finish in plays, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature.
D, there's no doubt as we wrap up, you were a fantastic high school football player here in Duval County. You went on to college to star at Florida. You went on to be drafted in the NFL, and now you're giving back to high school football here locally over there at NFEI. How are things going over there for you guys?
We get me and Coach Fudge going into our third year over here at NFEI, and I think we're going in the right. Ain't no think. I know we're going in the right direction. We're getting the right type of guys, and the guys are actually starting to buy into what we grew up in. You know, our pedigree is Ed White High School. We breathe, live, everything football over there. So that's what we're getting them to teach them those characteristics, those models of what we came up with, the BAM, the Gilliards, the things, and the Vernez Gucci's, and what we learned from work ethic and things of that nature. I believe we going to open some eyes this year. I know everybody know we're in the same district as Trinity, Episcopal, people of that nature, but I think we're going to be here to say something this year.
And that's a cool story. I mean, you mentioned Jamal Fudge, obviously, his starting days at Clemson. You, obviously, at Florida. Both you guys played college football at the highest level. You both went to school here locally. Now you're giving back. That's a cool story, D. I want to say that I'm rooting for you guys, and hopefully things do go well over there at NFEI, because I think it's great that you and Jamal are giving back to the game the way you are.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me on. And, yep, me and Fudge played together at Ed White, bringing that tradition over to NFEI, play together in the NFL with the Jaguars hometown team. We just want to embrace the chance we have to build a football program at a basketball school, and that's what we took the challenge on, and we're still here, and we're not going nowhere.
Former Gator, former Jaguar, D. Webb. D, thank you for the time. We'll talk soon, pal.
All right, thank you.
And thank you, too, former Gator and former Jaguar, D. Webb, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Always enjoy catching up with D. That guy ran the gamut, didn't he? He played big-time role for a very good public school here in Duval County at the high school ranks, went on to have a terrific career at the University of Florida, and then went on to be a draft pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now he's given back to the game by being a coach over there at NFEI, so always enjoy my conversations with D. Webb. So we certainly spent some time on Florida and the Jaguars tonight, a little high school ball as well. All the colleges here locally have started camp. Again, they all play at the end of this month. And as far as the Jaguars go, we had the scrimmage on Friday night. They were at practice yesterday, an off day as far as practice goes today, but then 3 straight days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. We'll be down at all of them, all 3 days of training camp before, of course, the preseason opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers this Saturday at Everbank Stadium. Well, that will just about do it, man. A very, very busy Monday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, former Gator, former Jaguar, current high school coach in the area, D. Webb. Always enjoy talking with D. Thank you to Andrew Spivey of GatorCountry.com as we talk DJ Lagway and the Florida Gators as they have been in fall camp now for almost a week. Appreciate Andrew joining us tonight. And back in hour number 1, Justin Barney of Channel 4 talking Jaguars and a little high school ball as well. And our Jaguar training camp one-on-one tonight was with wide receiver Joshua Cephus. Had the opportunity to catch up with Joshua after yesterday's practice. Again, thank you to the Jaguar PR staff for all the one-on-one interviews they give us here on Hacker After Dark. Cephus has had a good camp. There's absolutely no doubt about that, and he will be certainly one of the guys to watch Saturday night in the preseason opener. As I mentioned, I'll be back down at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow for a Tuesday training camp practice. I'm scheduled to go one-on-one with rookie running back LaQuint Allen Jr., and we will bring you that conversation on a Tuesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. Well, again, that will just about do it. Very, very busy Monday evening. Certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. Dylan Denmark was your producer this evening. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the Hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Monday night with us right here on Hacker After Dark, on 1010XL, and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have a terrific remainder of your Monday evening, and we will do it again tomorrow night on a Tuesday beginning at 8 o'clock. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.